Hi everyone. I'm really glad to welcome you here, to meet you here, to have you here on our InterSystems fire meetup, which is which we start to celebrate the winners of InterSystems iris-fhir fire programming contest. And hello everyone. Actually, I'm really happy to let our product manager of InterSystems iris-fhir, Patrick Jamieson, to start the meeting. Patrick,
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Oh, thank you. Yes, please.
Yeah.
You're very
Well, I want to congratulate all of the participants in this contest. I think overall, I saw a really creative and fantastic group of applications. Very, very exciting. And I want to thank, obviously, Evgeny for organizing this activity. I think what we're going to see in the future is a lot more creative applications using fire, because fire really is the next wave. And maybe for some of you, this may have been your first experience using fire. But the good news is that not only the federal government, but internationally, there's a commitment to working with fire to exchange healthcare data. And that is going to mean absolutely a large number of really new innovative applications that are going to take place over the next several years. We've really been unfortunate with having essentially a messaging standard that is really designed mainly to facilitate communication within the hospital. But fire is really looking really beyond the hospital's four walls. And that's what's exciting. It's going to mean that patients are going to have access to their medical data. It's going to mean that we're going to see exchange between different members of the health community. And you're leading the wave, essentially the wave. And this will be probably one of many fire contests. So keep up the great work. I'm just extremely happy that you participated in this. And I think there'll be better things to come even. So thanks again.
Thank you, Patrick, and thank you to all the participants. You submitted really fantastic applications made with InterSystems iris-fhir fire solutions, and parabens to winners, because all of them are from Brazil. Today's agenda is to let you guys winners to show your applications and introduce yourself. And after that, you are very welcome to ask your questions to Patrick Jamieson, our product manager of InterSystems iris-fhir, and Craig Lee, who is also here, is our product specialist. And yeah, so here we go, and we will start from Renato Banzai. Renato, would you like to introduce yourself, if you have any news story about yourself, so and show your solutions or show your application.
Okay. Good morning for all, or good afternoon. I think here in Brazil is afternoon now. I'm Renato Banzai. You can call me just Banzai. I think is easy to say for any language speaker. So I work with machine learning engineering here in Brazil. I work in a big financial company. Okay. I really enjoy fishing, so it's my main hobby. And at the last week, when I was participating on the contest, I was in a kind of holidays, not exactly. I went to the beach to stay in a place better to stay less days. But I decided to enter the contest at the very end of time, and thank for all contestants here, and I'm so happy to take the third place here. Okay, oh, I will try to show what I made. Just let me see.
Please do.
You see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, I made another kind of chatbot. Okay, I just was wondering how can I integrate NLP and health solutions. So sometimes some people talk to me, oh, it would be good if a doctor or a health professional can talk to a chat, a assistant, and ask for information, like a nurse, like when you need any information of patients. So I start to do this. I used all the template that Evgeny have made. Okay, so I was thinking, oh, how can I? Which approach can I do? Okay, the first one, and that one that I use here, is just a kind of text mining without machine learning in this time. Okay, we can use with machine learning, but this should use more complexity and more time to create. So I just started with taking the comments and showing in this particular kind. Okay, so we can also list the patients here. So it's a kind of comment. I just see the text and list like a Telegram or WhatsApp or another kind of messenger. Okay, and with the ID, I can take any information from the patient or some information. I didn't implement a lot of features here because I was with less time than other contests. Okay, so I work a little bit less here. We can we can see the patient by ID, blood pressure history, I think. Yes, and we can see the graphics here, like the example from Evgeny, and we can see another patient too. So, patient. And in the template was a hemoglobin graph too. We can try this one too. Sorry. So I use the REST server to communicate the chatbot with iris-fhir. Okay, it's very simple solution, but it's a good start point to this kind of implementation, like a virtual assistant to ask questions about patients or more manager views. Okay, so in a second approach that I think, but I didn't do, we can join this kind of actions with machine learning. So we have some platforms better to do this. So here I trade just with jQuery and REST implementations, but if I can make something more with more complexity, more complete, I would use the platform named Rasa. So is an open source chatbot platform that can join perfectly the implementation of fhir in Iris and machine learning features. Okay, so you can talk more with the chatbot, you can train the chatbot, and you can join with some actions. Okay, in a third time, you can work more with context information. So when you, even here, when are you talking with a assistant, you are talking, the assistant always interprets, understands just one message. So if I talk, list all patients, okay, it will understand, oh, okay, this is one command. In the next command, the assistant will forget the other one, okay? So in a short future, we can work with context too. So list all patients, and after this, you can make another command without the words all patients, and the assistant can think, oh, Renato or anyone is talking about all patients. Okay, so there was some complexities that we can work with this solution in a short future with another tools too. Okay, this is my application. It's a little simple at this time. And if anyone has any question to me.
Yeah, thank you, Renato. Yes, this is actually, as you said, this is really a promising foundation for the next stories, and what you said sounds interesting, like this Raza, yes, or and maybe in integrations with different voice assistants and something like that. Yeah. Everyone, you are very welcome to ask questions. So using voice or via chat, and Patrick, Craig, or Guillaume, do you have questions to Renato?
No, I think this is very interesting. I think one element I might focus on the next time around is, I think you might even get more interested in focusing on particular patients of the system. In other words, patients are going to be accessing their medical record. They may not be very familiar with what's in the record. So using conversation would be really helpful for a patient, where for the physicians, it may be something they're very used to working with electronic medical records. So this may not be as interesting to them, but certainly for patients could be quite useful, quite helpful for them.
Okay, thank you. I will think about. It's a good point. It's a really good point. I never worked with health professionals, so I didn't know exactly how a magician or physician ask to systems. So thank you for this point, Patrick.
And we have a question from Carmen Locke. Carmen asks, if I presume this chatbot could be used with speech as well. Is it right? So, Renato?
For voice analytics, if you can understand voice, is this one?
Yeah. I was just thinking it might be easier for somebody to interact with it with voice. So I was just curious if that's something that could be a later extension. Yeah.
One of approach, we can use an API that already exists. So there's a lot of APIs that convert voices into text. So one of approach, we can just convert. Okay, you record the voice process and use the text to translate. It is one of these. Or we can create our own processing voice that is a little bit more complexity, much more complexity to improve. But in the very first approach, we can just process the voice with existing APIs from another providers like Amazon, Azure, GCP. See, there's a lot of on the market that we can use.
Yeah, I just thought that might be interesting for busy health professionals.
Yes, and more impressive.
Yeah.
Always when you use voice or video, it's more impressive. So I would do this on the contest maybe.
Yeah, next time. Yeah.
I think it's a clear request for us to introduce a new fire contest. So so Patrick, if you Patrick and Craig, if you create a demand, so we will put it without any queues, or like say in the next month. So of course.
Just one thing, I definitely agree with what Pat said about possibly the focus should be scoped down to the patient, especially in light of, in the US, we have the CMS ruling that basically requires that providers and other organizations provide information directly to patients. So I think maybe focusing on patient record and interactions directly with the patient might actually be easier in solving or implementing something like this, maybe as a first step, and then expand it out to something that's facing to providers. So yeah, but this is fantastic. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Renato, and thank you for your contribution, and Parvens as well. And yes, and we are looking for the advanced version of chatbot in the next FHIR contest. And now I want to give a word to next winner, José Roberto Pereira Jr., who made Fire Analytics. Is it Fire? What is the proper name? Fire Analytics solution, right, José?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And before you start, so I really want to introduce it, Carmen Locke. Carmen, our product manager for analytics products in InterSystems. And Carmen, we never had the dedicated analytics contest yet. But this is the second. But this is the second contest in a row which brings us analytics solutions. So now this is FHIR analytics solutions, and also I want to say, José, before you start, sorry, I want to say thanks to Guillaume Ranier who contributed special features into our FHIR template, which can and with which we can everyone can make richer FHIR analytics solutions with our FHIR template, which is available on Open Exchange. Thank you, Guillaume. So José, please go ahead, introduce yourself, yes, and share your story and show your application, your solution, please.
Okay, thank you, Evan. So, hi everyone, my name is José. I'm working with InterSystems products about 10 years, but in this context, I have the opportunity to discover and work with new features that I have never worked with before, and I'm very happy with that. So, I'm starting to think about this project several weeks ago, and the first contact with FHIR with just the Guillemon GitHub project. So I'm cloning it, and when I'm walk through its tutorial, I realized that Iris could translate FHIR data into a SQL schema, and then I realized that I could perform some analytical tests in such schema. And a few days after that, the InterSystems YouTube channel with Patrick and I think Craig Lee are also is on it. Actually, talking about how to use the SQL schema to perform analytics. So I'm thinking the right way. So I will share my screen. A moment. Are you seeing my screen? Okay. So as I'm said, I've never worked with Fire before, so my background on Fire before this contest was zero, and I'm very impressed with its powerful model. You can model I think all aspects of the patient, so it's very impressive. The first feature which worked was the SQL schema. So as I said, I realized that Fire for Health can translate Fire data, which is primarily coded in JSON, to SQL schema. So as you can access any information by SQL, you can use a lot of tools for SQL, like analytics, and Iris provide a built-known solution, all right? The Iris Analytics, also known as Gypsy, which I use in my company. So I create some cubes using the SQL schema and set up some dashboards using Iris Analytics, Gypsy Web, and Power BI. So I will show a quick example, starting by Iris Analytics. So this is a basic dashboard, just an example. We can see information about patients, their allergies, and you can play around with the widgets and perform some basic queries. So here you can see that we have 2 patients between 2 and 11 years old. You can also have the same dashboard using another technology, Gypsy Web, which is the same as the Iris Analytics, but with a different looking field. And also, you can plug to the Iris data another dashboard too, like Power BI. The same dashboard, similar functionalities, the same data. Well, the next feature was the Fire REST API itself. I know that's the main functionality for Fire, of course, and I try to plug it in my application by using the resource queries in order to substitute the full listing. So rather than just show a table with information and details about patient, I used another nice feature which I found while I'm searching for this context, which are specific user interface for Fire. I found two libraries for React, and in these two libraries, I just need to configure the source of the Fire data, because as Fire data is standard, this interface can take an advantage and don't need any other. I mean, all the information necessary to create the interface is already stored in the data model of Fire itself. And here I will show you what I've done. So let me say I just want to see the females patient, and here I have the results using the first library. I don't need to do any configuration here other than passing the file resource. And this is another view, but using the second library. This library is more complete. It can render it can render a user interface for almost all file resource. And I could also show the same information in a chart view or the standard table view. This I can reuse the interface. So so I use the same interface here in the Iris Analytics. As you can see, it's the same interface, and as those user interface using material design, I don't have to care about responsibility. I mean, they are responsive. So the next picture was a tip for the contest, talking about complex queries, and I realized that this could be used to identify inconsistencies in data. So I simulated two inconsistencies. The first one is a patient which has an insulin medication record, but if you search for a diabetes condition, you won't find anything. So probably this will be some kind of inconsistency. And another kind of inconsistency is when you have the no current problems or disability in the condition record, but in the same record you also have an actual condition. So this second condition contradicts the first one, and this is probably also a kind of inconsistent. And using this inconsistent data, I set up a basic dashboard where users can find the last 7 days inconsistency for the inconsistency in data inputted in the last 7 days. So as you can see, we have the two inconsistencies we just show you. Feature which is very useful is the data format transformations. So we can import data in a lot of different formats rather than FHIR to FHIR, and once you have the FHIR data, you have the same data in SQL, and you can use in the normal workflow. So I'm set up a production for importing. First, let me show you the just a moment. And oh yeah. This one. So we have the production here, and as you can see, we have any message here. So drop files here. Iris interoperability will start to consume them, and now I have consumed it. And finally, I can rebuild the cubes and refresh this dashboard. We have the new patients here. So that is it. If you want more information, please visit my GitHub and check out my developer community articles. Thank you very much.
Jose, this is very impressive. Thank you so much. Colleagues, Patrick, Craig.
Yeah, very impressive. You've really hit on some major problems and themes that I think are going to come up over and over again. One, I'll just comment on the last area that you were exploring, which is really this idea of data validation and clean data. This is a very important problem in healthcare. It's a problem that we confront all the time. So finding inconsistencies in the data, extremely useful, and that definitely could even have commercial value, but it is definitely helping with quality of care. The second theme that you touched on is another problem that is an interesting and complex problem, which is FHIR analytics. In general, FHIR is a very non-relational type of data. And so we are really exploring and trying to see how it could be flattened so it can do things like clinical decision support, population health analysis, and analytics. And some of the things that you've done with the FHIR search tables are very appropriate and helping reach that goal of being able to use FHIR for more than just transactions, to use it in a population health manner. So very impressed by the work you've done here.
Yep, and just to kind of maybe give an update or clarify where we are with FHIR analytics in the product. So the plan right now is to provide a more of an extensible and standard support for FHIR analytics, where right now what we have, the tables that you're seeing there, it's a good use of those tables, and currently they are considered search tables where they're based off of the need to provide results, basically responses to REST queries. So the fields that you see in those tables are really search parameters that are defined for every resource, but not necessarily every field that you see in a resource, for example. So the plan right now is to extend that and build it out into a more extensible framework where you could actually, flatten out all the resources and all the fields and applicable fields that you're interested in into these tables, as opposed to these tables that you already see. So this is very good, and I think it's fantastic that you actually went into the tables and created dashboards and stuff. So thank you.
Thank you.
Carmen?
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to follow up on that a little bit. I don't know if this is a fair question to ask, but I'll ask it anyways. Jose, do you have thoughts about what you think InterSystems should provide in this area?
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I'm putting you on the spot. You can choose not to answer it if you want, but it's just good feedback for us.
Okay. Well, as Craig said, I think if we have a more denormalized model, we could achieve analytics in a more easy way. And also, if you think about analytics as descriptive analysis, as I did, the next step, of course, is thinking about predictive and prescriptive analysis. So I don't know. maybe bring for the platform models, specific models for predictive and prescriptive analysis in health data, maybe something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks. Yeah, this is great work.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you, José. Are there any questions to José and his solution? Anyway, so you're very welcome to ask it in the chat, and and we will go for our next winner, Henrique Diaz. And actually, it was so exciting, guys, that the whole voting week, that you every day you guys added some new features, and you caught the hearts of experts, and you finished on time, and so this is really exciting. So we liked it as much, and hope you do. So now, Henrique, please introduce yourself again.
Okay.
and show your solution, please.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Henrique Diaz. I'm from Brazil. I'm working with InterSystems technology for 17 years, most of the time in healthcare area. So I try to bring a little what I have in experience in that field to this context. Even though I never worked with FHIR before, it was really exciting to remember tracked care days. So, and when I have this context, I was thinking what I need to do to achieve something not important but relevant. And I saw the José product in Open Exchange. The first version was dashboard for, I think it was managers, because you have the general overview, what your patients have, how many patients do you have. So I try a different approach, focus on the physician, right? Physician and the patient, in a better way to introduce the information that FHIR research provides us. So I create what I call fhir-portal. Okay, that's it. I need to share my screen. Just a second. Here was my approach using the template. Thank you, everyone who created this. Guilherme, Evgeny, thank you so much. So I was using jQuery and HTML files to create this information. So on the left, you have a patient list. I connect directly on FHIR server and get all information what we need here. So when you click on any patient, they load the details information here for patient information. So I have access for a few resources, 5 resources. Patient, of course, for the patient details. Is I have allergy, observation, and immunization. So as my first approach with working with FHIR, I try to share my experience in writing some articles to help the others, because was really interesting, but I have no idea how to make something. So I try to share this experience. So we have these 4 accordions, and when you click, you load it for vital signs. I try to show show informations, not every resources, because we don't know what kind of information we have on this small sample of patients. And immunizations here, lab results. But I just realized that for few informations, we need a better visual approach, right? And to make use of not just FHIR resources and the rest, I create a second page to show in details, in graph details, the results, lab results. So we have here patient, Rena, and we have laboratory. When you click here, they load. In this page was created separate because here I use a different approach to obtain all the information. To retrieve all the information here, I use SQL schemas. And in the first one, I use file resources in jQuery. So it's a different approach to try to use all what iris-fhir-portal provides. So let's try 3 slides here. So they load every single lab test that this patient had. And when you click search, they use SQL schemas to bring all the results here and plot this chart. Also, I create something, I use a different approach, not just get information, but trying to update the information on file server. So let's just fix this random name here. When you load it, you see the name is fixed and directly on the file server. To achieve this, I use two different approaches. For the first one, when you see all the results, I connect directly using jQuery, what was provided with the template here. And I load the information that I need. So through the patient details, I have everything that I had on my response on jQuery. And the second one here was using SQL schemas. So to get the patient, I use the information that Iris provide in SQL. And to get options here, I think that was the most difficult part, was to retrieve all this information in a simple way. As José mentioned before, we don't have a separate information inside resources. So the methods provided by Guillaume really help us to achieve this. So have test code, test name, and for lab results, I have everything what I need and give it back in a REST service. That's it, guys. If anyone has any questions, please.
Yeah, and Enrique, thank you for this rich, accurate, and impressive UI front end for Systems iris-fhir server. Colleagues, do you have any questions to Enrique?
I think this is very impressive, Henrique. The one thing I think down the road, and I do feel like this is a great way of organizing information, really would be super helpful for patients. And I like the idea that they could validate some of their information and upload it. One thing I think to think about down the road is security aspects. So if this was patient facing, obviously, it would be a problem to see other people's data. Obviously, from the provider side, it's not an issue, but it could be. So if you wanted to make this more patient-centric, thinking about how you validate the patient and then displaying only their results, be interesting. But I do feel like this is great. It's fantastic.
I should thank my wife or have me some thoughts of how can I use. She's a physician and I have my personal key user at home.
That's a great aid. Yeah.
So, I
Any more questions?
just one comment I have. I think it's very good to see, showing the ability to not only read and display, but also update. I think, yeah, I haven't seen too many use case or people implement and try that out, but it's good to see that in action. In terms of what other approach could be taken when you're trying to update an existing record, right now in Iris-for-Health, there is an ability to do a patch interaction as opposed to just a regular update interaction. So you could have achieved that by doing a patch, but it's a little bit more complex because the patch as in the payload, you're required to provide that data, just basically the fields that have changed in a different format. So it's a little bit more work, but patch interaction could be used in this particular case. Not sure if the jQuery module does support it out of the box, but it's very good to see.
Thank you, Craig. I didn't had any success trying just updating the fields that I changed. So to make it work, I need to pack everything in, go back inside the object and put it back to the server.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it might be because the jQuery module doesn't support the patch interaction, but I think if you do that like manually, it would work. But yeah. But thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you, Craig. It's great to hear that we support patch. Yeah, thank you. Sorry?
No, okay. I didn't show, but if anyone has the opportunity to use a smartphone here, to use the interface, you have this option, right? This is a setting as an iPhone X, but you can change for anyone. So it's kind of responsive. So you can see the information right in your hands using all that you need. So I try to make it easier to, independent what you're using. See, the doctor using a desktop or a mobile phone or iPad, they can see and make it useful information and right on time.
Henrique, this is very impressive, and yeah, as even we have the front-end component in FHIR in the basic FHIR template. Craig helped greatly with that. So I think we will update it maybe with your solution. So thank you for your great contribution to the community.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, also, José, thank you very much for your and Renato, your contributions too, because we really want to use it as an example of how you can approach with analytics with FHIR and on systems FHIR, iris-for-Health, and with chatbots. And so thank you, Renato, too, for this great foundation work. And we have 5 minutes. Colleagues, maybe you wanna you have some questions to our product management representative.
One comment, Evgeny, I'd give everyone. I hope you're all aware of our global summit coming up soon in October. It is free, and one of the nice things is we have an entire FHIR track with demos. So I would encourage all of you, if you're interested in FHIR, this will be a great conference for you to attend.
Great. Sure.
Yes, thanks, Patrick.
Actually, I have a question for the product manager. Here in Brazil, we are going to implement our version of HIPAA or HIPAA. I don't know how to say the HIPAA line. Yeah. We are going to implement this here. Is there in Iris or FHIR some kind of tool to help to achieve the compliance with some set of rules like HIPAA?
The answer is yes. HIPAA is kind of complex in that what you need effectively there is good methods both in security and privacy. So essentially what that means is that the patient has to have the ability to only share data with trusted entities like their providers. So you need consent mechanisms. That's not per se built into Iris for Health, but it is built into HealthShare. The next thing is you need good security, which means, like in the context of FHIR, that you will not allow patient information to be seen by unauthorized parties. So that means essentially access controls and encryption, both at rest and in motion. And those are things that, in terms of encryption, that's clearly part of the product. In terms of security and access control, there are a lot of different ways to do that. One of the things that you guys might be interested in is InterSystems API Manager that has a variety of different ways of enforcing access controls.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. I think this was a really great and impressive test, and we are looking forward to see you all as participants in our next series, which will be in a few weeks. Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution to InterSystems community. Thank you for delivering great experience and value, and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Evgeny. It's an honor. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Evgeny.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
thanks everyone.
All right, take